Hi guys, this is Bareerah, the super storyteller, as always live and this from new people. So guys, today my guest is Mr. Kurt Krueger. And Mr. Kurt Krueger is an example of hard work, dedication and motivation. So guys, are you ready to know about Mr. Kurt Krueger? So, okay. So, as everybody know that Kurt Krueger is from, Mr. Kurt Krueger is, as you know that he is a global audience and serving uh, society and a life on our planet. And you know, guys, that he is a Polymath, Philosopher, curious, and athlete for love and pragmatic futurist. And okay, and as you know that the best, as you know that it's a best time that he's a best-selling author of the Winning Ways for Living series. Wow, that's a wonderful thing to know, and he is an author. And I love authors because I read books also. So, okay.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
It's my pleasure.
I love Pakistan. Every Pakistani that I've met here, I actually connected up with the people at the, not embassy, because in Los Angeles we have a consulate. And many years ago, and I have good friends like this. And I'm excited about being able to communicate. And all that introduction only means a simple thing. I'm a person who loves life. I experiment with life. I adventure in life. I'm very, very curious. I've only been to 30 different countries. There's not much that I won't do. Like my bucket list is outer space, Antarctica, and Bhutan. And inshallah, if as God wills it, I will go there. So my big quest for the rest of my life, at least so far, is to be able to have a peace lab. Now, when I say a peace lab, that means like an experiment to bring peace to the world finally. Like in Pakistan, you'd say a peace ministry. Instead, if you look at the the Ministry of Peace in 1984, the book by George Orwell, you would not want to have a Ministry of Peace because it's actually the opposite.
Mhm.
We are going to create, the people are going to create a Department of Peace, or like I said, a peace lab or a peace labyrinth. Because when you walk a labyrinth, it's going to get you there. There's only one path in and one path out. When you get there, you get to be joyous. And when you come out, you're still joyous because you get to spread the peace everywhere you go. You are an ambassador for peace. You are an experimenter on how you can bring peace to the world. So the quote that we have for the Peace Lab is peace with everything, everything with peace. So wherever we are, you, with your beautiful smile, when you walk down the street, it'll bring happiness. When you just smile at somebody, people will feel better. Their heart is a little more open. When you offer somebody some paisa, some little money that somebody's begging, because too many people are begging these days, way more than ever. And it's all because of what is happening. But again, Allah has given us this challenge to be able to grow, not to get thinking we're going to go backwards, like our president in America wants to make America great again. We were never so great. We could be greater, just like Pakistan can be greater. And you, the youth of Pakistan, you youth, take it your responsibility to make Pakistan better. Bring peace to Pakistan, bring love to Pakistan. Oh my God, here we are. We're feeling so much better just by doing that. Now, any questions? Did I make sense? Or did I
Yeah.
speak too
Yes.
fast?
That's a really wonderful, beautiful thing, and I see that you are more interested in peace, and I love to hear about you from peace. But first of all, as you know that you have already told us that who are you, but if we want to know more about you, so I will request you that to please explain who are you as a person? As a successful person, who are you?
Well, I believe anybody is a successful flower of God. Every flower has its own quality. Some, let's say, a particular sunflower looks so great, and another one doesn't look as open. So it still has the quality of a sunflower. It still gives seeds. It still is life. Everybody looks different. Doesn't matter. They're all basically creations of Allah. So when we look at it
Mm-hmm.
that way, we're feeling better. We get to go back into my history. I was born
Mm-hmm.
in Los Angeles. I'm an identical twin. Uh, he and I became really good swimmers in America. He was a national champion. I was only an All-American, which means for me, I was in the top 10 in America in my division, in my stroke. I have some international senior Olympic medals. I've presented at the Olympic Scientific Congress in sports psychology. I've trained Olympians and world record holders. I've spoken at the United Nations, Oxford Medical School. For the subcontinent, I've given programs for Bajaj Corporation, the big Bajaj syndicate, uh, and I've been on a hijacked airplane. I've taught in the ghettos of Los Angeles. I've I've been having a great adventure in life. Again, because like the Peace Lab, we're exploring life, how we can live life in a great manner. So when I left India the first time after spending a year there studying the culture and the history and everything else, I got on a hijacked airplane. Well, I could have been as fearful as everybody. For the first 45 minutes, I was. And they had automatic weapons, hand grenades, plastic explosives. It wasn't a nice place. And I tried to turn to Allah. I tried to be able to, to think of God, but it was very hard. But I ended up ultimately getting into the deepest state of meditation I'd ever been in at that time. I was very, very, very peaceful. And then when we came in for the landing, it was very scary. They had moved a lady next to me, and she started breathing funny because she was very old. She was breathing funny and shaking. So I grabbed her arm and I calmly said, calm down. Everything will be okay. God's taking care of us. She calmed down. I started doing what she was doing. I was breathing funny and shaking, and they pulled me out of my seat, threw me in the first class section on the floor, and I stopped breathing. The lady above me said, help him. He's having a heart attack. The hijackers, gave me closed heart massage, nitroglycerin, a shot for heart attack, and oxygen. That's when my mind started tripping out. That's when my mind started, uh-oh, will this shot hurt me? Or will this pill hurt me? Because I was actually having what in India they call kriyas and pranayam, which means spontaneous movements of the body that you can have in deep meditation. You can also do breathing, special breathing practice in deep meditation. And I was in a deep meditative state until they gave me that shot and that pill. Then my mind started going crazy. And then finally, I realized what my mind was doing for me, and I calmed down. After 26 hours on the plane, I was the very first person off the plane. Alhamdulillah. Huh? God is so great. Gets me off first. 3 days later, I'm back in Los Angeles teaching at a ghetto. I ended up taking away weapons from students. Again, inshallah. So that's a brief history of my life. I've been a teacher from 11-year-olds to 80-year-olds all over the world on 5 continents. I've, like you said, I'm a published author. The first 3 weeks on Amazon, 2 out of the 4 books that I posted on Amazon got to be bestsellers. I recommend if anybody's going to get Winning Ways for Living, that they get the last one, because it compiles volume 1, 2, and 3, but with more than the 1, 2, and 3 also. So it's much, much better to buy that one. But if anybody wants to have any information, like I can maybe give you a little teaching on how to manage your stress. If anybody wants that kind of thing and can't remember some of the things I say, they can go through successsystemsinternational.net and email to me, and I will send them what they request. Like, I would love to have everybody be happier. I designed a class at a middle school. This is people your age. And I designed a class called Happiness. And we had such a great time that 3 years later, kids are still doing the homework. Who does homework 3 years after you've had the class? Do you know anybody? Well, you may not even have homework like the students in Finland. They don't have homework. We punish students and give them homework. Not for punishment, but I'm actually a real educator. I bring out the truth out of the students. And that's the same thing with doing things with older people. Like, I had a big consultation with somebody last night about their extreme trauma that they had. And they ended up walking away so relieved. So people can release any tension. If you're worried about the COVID, it only depletes your immune system if you worry. So instead, do something like positive action so that you help others. And when you help others, you feel better. If you feel better, you're producing what are called neuroendorphins. You're producing all the antibodies for many of the problems that you have in the body, just because you feel better, just because you are happier, just because you are serving others. That's the result in this body that it has on your immune system. It's amazing what they are finding out in science. I'll give you another quick example. When a human cell is healthy and there's a cell around it that isn't healthy, it will help it. The only cell in the human body that doesn't do that, guess what it is? Cancer. It's the one that people fear most. Like, I have a Band-Aid here because I had some skin cancer. It's gone now. Any question?
That's a really, wow, that's a really wonderful thing that I have learned the most and developed it inside of me.
Listen,
And you know that, yes, sir?
well, I was going to say about make sure that any yourself or anybody else who wants to be happier emails me through the website successsystemsinternational.net, and I will send you the happiness links to a. They have talks. I recommend two places to get incredible information. Number one, it's going to start up again in January 11th, but it's Humanity Rising. You look up Humanity Rising. You can look on past Humanity Rising programs on YouTube or Ubiquity University and see the previous Humanity Rising programs, or you can look on TED.com, TED.com. That has some of the best speakers in the world about just about anything. And the talk that I would recommend on this particular branch in the happiness link is one that has about 40 million views. And it's because it works. When you work simple things, you can bring concentration to your mind. You can bring calmness to your mind. You can be still and be peaceful. This is so important in the world. I just had a friend who phoned me last night. He's worried about a woman he was talking with, and suddenly it went blank. He tried phoning, he tried emailing, he tried texting, no response. He thought, oh no, somebody's broke into their house. They've hurt her, they've raped her, whatever. And he's thinking all these negative thoughts. I said, excuse me, don't hurt yourself. Calm down. Everything will be okay. We'll check into it. We'll do what we can to find out what happened. So instead of worrying so much, we took positive action. We checked, we phoned the local police department, found out there was a power outage. It was a power outage. So the man, my dear friend, and myself would not have to worry about her. But when we worry, our immune system is depleted. We feel worse when we don't have to feel worse. Do a positive action that will get some good results. This is what is called Stoicism. The Stoics is a philosophy. The most famous Stoic, and it's a really good book to read, is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. He was the emperor in Rome when they had the pandemic. They had a huge pandemic. You get to be able to do what you can with what you have. He helped his people. He gave most of his riches away to help his people, much like so many presidents around our world are not doing, which is really sad. The women leaders of the world are helping their people, not the men. But that's another story. We get to let young people and women start to be able to take over and balance the male and female and give that good energy you have to bring life back to the planet. Yes.
Wow, that's a really, you know, it's just feel like that, uh, that I'm talking not to a stranger but a nice person. That's know more about peace and how to help others. And you have said the special thing is if you worry, things can get worse. We have to calm down and we have to control ourselves. If we will not worry, things will slowly be right and it will be all right.
Well, we get to do positive action. If we just stop worrying, it may not do any good. But when we take action, positive action, then there is fruits of your work. That's in India, they call it karma. Every action has a reaction. They also have something in India called karma yoga. This is selfless service. You serve others selflessly, like Mother Teresa, like Gandhi, like all the good-hearted people who create agencies and groups that will make life better. And this is what we're here on the planet for. Allah, you look at what Muhammad did. He helped others. He served the people. He was a great model for everybody. And when we model after Muhammad, yeah. I'll give you an example about education, though. Let me jump back to education because I have been teaching teachers too. And it's one of my loves of my life is to teach teachers. They did an experiment, a longitudinal experiment, long over a period of time, like over 30 years and longer. They tested children at the age of 5 for IQ. They found that 98% of the thousands that they tested were geniuses. 5 years later, they tested. 5 years later, they tested them again. 5 years later, they tested them again. So by the age of being an adult, they had reversed the IQ measurement. They only had 2% of the adults were geniuses. Yet only 2% were not geniuses when they were 5. Our education system approaches the left brain, does not approach both hemispheres of neocortex, they call it. When we open up all our brain and our feelings and our gut and especially our heart, the heart is the hub. People talk about it with love poems like one of my favorite poets is Rabia. I don't know if you know the poet Rabia. She's a famous Muslim poet. Rumi and Hafez are my other poets that I love. But when you look at what they say, the heart is the hub of love. When we give love, it generates more love. The heart also, the physical heart, connects to your brain and sends more messages to your brain than the brain sends to the heart. The heart has neurons. These are brain cells in the heart. So the heart actually thinks. The heart is connected and can help us run a better life when we start to connect with our hearts. And when your heart doesn't feel good, don't do it. You know you shouldn't do something if your heart doesn't feel good. If there's something that makes you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that, but you think, no, I love eating this, or I'm going to take that. Things like that. Follow your heart, and you'll always be guided to the right place. Hello? There you are.
I'm really, really sorry because I was having a little bit of internet issue.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't know where I stopped, but just let me know if you wanted me to go back to that. I might be able to. Otherwise, we can go from here.
We can continue. If you want to continue, you can.
Well, what would you like me to talk about now?
Well, I think that you have shared a lot of your information about, your history. What was your history? And a lot of information about yourself. And it's a really, you are a really great person, a really successful person.
You get to
People
do
like
that.
you, yes.
The thing is, everybody has the ability to be better. And it doesn't matter where you're educated at. I've taught in the ghettos of Los Angeles, and when I was at the West Point, which is the military academy for the military in America, the most prestigious military academy in America, I was giving a presentation there on sports psychology. And as I'm walking across this parade ground, one of my old students from 8 years before comes running up, Mr. Krueger, Mr. Krueger. He was in this horrible ghetto school, one of the worst schools in America, but he learned because of influences like good teachers have. And when good teachers
Mhm.
get you, you can accomplish anything, but also you get to put your effort forth. And when you put the effort forth, don't let anything stop you from reaching your dreams. It's very, very important to seek that dream. My dream is peace on earth. Allah wants
Oh.
peace. We spreading this idea of the peace lab, this peace labyrinth, or this peace
Mhm.
laboratory where we experiment with peace each moment. Think about it. It can happen a little bit more each day. Just when you wake up from your deep sleep, the first thing you can do is say, Allah, please let me do your will in every thought, word, and deed. Let this person be your ambassador, your minister of peace. Let me minister peace to life throughout my day. And as you do, let's say you get in the car, say the same prayer. As you get to a particular place, maybe repeat that prayer just before you go in to that place, whether it's your school or whether it's a office or wherever you are. Repeat that prayer. And slowly but surely, I'll give you an example. This is a real interesting story. Pierre Pradervan, he wrote a book a friend of mine published, and he ended up selling that to Simon and Schuster, one of the biggest publishers in the world. It's called The Gentle Art of Blessing. And in it, he
Oh.
describes the gentle art of blessing, and he's walking the streets of Geneva. He's from Switzerland. And
Mhm.
he started to practice of when he sees somebody, he started to say, blessings of light and love. Just in his mind, he would say, oh, blessings of health and wealth, or blessings of peace and happiness. Whatever came to his mind, slowly but surely, he would repeat saying blessings of whatever came to him. And he started doing it more and more. And he did this to a young man that was sitting on the street. He didn't say it out loud, but he just said that, something like that. And the man jumped up and knocks him out. Just boom. When he comes to, he's lying on the street. He doesn't know how long he's been knocked out. When he comes to, he says, blessings to this man again, although the man wasn't there. But he just blessed him again because he got into this habit, this wonderful little habit. But he goes home and he thinks he's going to see a big black and blue mark on his cheek. Nothing. No black and blue mark. You can look at a very beautiful little story, him telling it. He's sitting on the side of Lake Geneva, and he's telling this story on YouTube. Look up The Gentle Art of Blessing. And Pierre is such a wonderful hearted man, just like you are. So bring that heart forth. Just do these blessings that you can have for people around you. Guess what? It spreads. It spreads like wildfire, but wildfire can help other growth later, but it may destroy some things. Let's destroy the evil. Let's destroy the negativity. If you're going to destroy anything, destroy that and bring flowers to the planet, bring butterflies to the planet. Right now, humanity is like the little chrysalis of a butterfly. Humanity's been eating up the planet, a caterpillar. And then it finally, we're in lockdown. What am I going to do? And some people are thinking we can get better. And they have this idea of getting better. They don't know quite what it is. Maybe it's idea of peace lab. And they think, I'm going to bring peace to and then you spread that to the neighboring gook, because in a chrysalis, it's gooky. And you spread that to other cells. They're called imaginal cells in science. I call them intentional cells. It's my intention to bring peace to the world. So we're spreading this peace. Pretty soon there's enough of us and we get stronger, and we have turned into what? A strong butterfly that breaks through the cocoon and flies and brings beauty and life to the planet. And that's what's happening now when we are the ambassadors for peace. So experiment with peace in your life, be peace, peace with everything, everything with peace.
That's really interesting and really a beautiful, heart-touching story you have told. It and it doesn't feel like it is a story, but it's just scared us that we have to spread peace, and whatever we do, just for peace, we should do it.
Definitely.
And
Now,
I
can
know that, uh, and I'm watching that one thing that you love peace more. So as I know that you love peace more, so I have a one question about peace. So can I ask the question?
sure.
So okay. So can you tell us that how's your experience in your life as a peace ambassador? I know that as a peace ambassador, and what did you love to find out in the way to spread love and peace? So can you tell us?
Everybody has a different way to spread love and peace. I have a friend in Sweden. I taught at Stockholm University in the 80s. And this man is teaching in Sweden, and he's a great, great soul. His name is Ulf Sandström. And he
Mm,
has a technique that releases trauma. And he went down to Rwanda, where they had the genocide. He went also to the Congo, where they had child soldiers, where little kids were killing their friends even. And he went to these places like refugee camps in Greece or somewhere where people were traumatized, and he taught them a simple practice, and he gives it away freely. And again, if somebody's interested, they can ask me about the trauma, and they can send an email about that and communicate with me, and you can learn how to release the trauma. So each person has a particular skill. Somebody may be a writer, somebody may be a speaker, somebody may be a kid who can just bring peace to his family and bring peace to others, friends. They can help somebody who's hurt themselves. That helps bring peace. When I was playing beach ball in South Africa, somebody came down and tore their knee. You heard this horrible pop because they landed wrong. And I just pulled him
mm,
off the court, and I put my hand on his knee, asked him first if he didn't mind if I could help him. And because of my sports psychology background and my first aid background, he said okay, and I put my hand on his knee. And I thanked God for having healed him. And I guided him through a visualization, calming with his breath, letting him calm down because he was in pain. When he calmed his breathing down, it brought oxygen to his blood. It brought the oxygen, then went to be able to help heal it faster, and so on and so forth. Because of that calmness, ultimately, and because I had thanked Allah for having healed him, Allah decided to heal him. It wasn't me.
mm-hmm,
Allah decided to heal him. He got up and walked away 45 minutes after I did that. It took 45
mm-hmm,
minutes of me doing that, getting him into breathing, calming down, and asking a few times during that time for Allah to heal him. And he walked away. What is it that we can't do? We can just try to help others in whatever way we are guided to. And again, everything with peace, peace with everything. So you are that peace ambassador. You, in what you say and what you do, are a peace ambassador. And you can even put that on the bottom of that's your title now, Ambassador of Peace. You have a title. So thank you for asking me to come and share what I could share with you. I appreciate it.
I'm here now.
Ah, yeah, I don't know where you went. So,
I'm really sorry that I'm having again and again internet issues. I don't know why.
yeah, I don't know either, but it um, maybe power because, like this friend, I mentioned that story about her losing power, and we thinking that man thinking the worst. Again, it's just power, and everybody gets to live with what we have and do the best with what we have. And no matter where
Mm-hmm.
we, I've lived in closets of people's
Mm-hmm.
places in Australia.
Oh,
I've lived in villages in India. I've lived in Ram Krishna Bajaj's mansion, you might say. He had two whole floors of a building in Bombay uh, and we get to be able to live where we live. We get to be able to explore life with where we are. Inshallah.
inshallah. So okay, as you know that you have told us about the peace, and it's really wonderful to know about it. It's really amazing to know, and your lovely stories. So okay, and I have one more question to for you. So okay, so please, as you know that as I know that you are an author, so please tell us something about your book. What makes you write the books?
You
So
know,
can you
for
tell us?
yes, for 40 years, over 40 years actually, I have been teaching peak performance practices. In 1982, I founded the Institute of Sports Psychology in Mumbai. It was actually called Bombay in those days. We ended up having
Okay.
5 offices of the Institute of Sports Psychology around the world. I was teaching corporations through Success Systems International, which I started the year after in America. We've been to 5 continents doing peak performance for basically any walk of life.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I got to be able to I had to be able to put it down. I had to put it in writing so when people see it, because it was a holistic approach. Now, very few people in 1970s and 80s were doing anything holistically. I started doing this because nutrition, just what you ingest in your body, can improve your strength and endurance up to 50%. Your IQ can go up 20 points higher. So if you're an average IQ, it can go up 20 points, which means you're a genius. So from that, with proper nutrition, you jump IQ. Your mood swings balance, so your emotions are more calm just with nutrition. So I learned a lot about nutrition from one of the top nutritionists in the world. His name is Dr. Gabriel Cousens. He has a number of great books. He's got a 21-day diabetes cure. He's got a book called Conscious Eating and so on. Many, many books. I've the mental aspect. Ulf Sundstrom has a free podcast that he does on the placebo effect, the power of the mind, on how it can affect your body. Because one of the scientific studies that was presented at the Olympic Scientific Congress in 1988, where at my presentation, Fitness for the 21st Century, was rated the best of the whole conference. This other presentation by the top person in sports psychology was on the placebo effect. What does it do? You're the ones who received the placebo of nutrition, the supplements, and they thought they were getting the real thing, had a good improvement in their endurance and strength and their IQ. But the ones that got the real nutrition, the real supplements, had an even better. So it was like a 7-minute improvement in marathon times for the placebo effect. And the ones who got the real one was 11-minute average improvement. So a vast improvement, 50% more improvement than the placebo effect. What do you want? You want the real thing or you want just something else? So there's the things that we have in the book that describes body, mind, spirit, and emotions. Because if we're not tapped into Allah, if we are not guided by the spirit, by the all-powerful, then we don't have so much power. We can't have so much power. We cannot manifest what Allah wants. If Allah wants me to pick up a tree off a person, He will give me the power to do that. I, on the way back from a swim workout, lifted up a car because we got into a car accident. I was 17 and a half years old. I was 6 foot tall, 150 pounds. Allah gave me the force. Allah gave me the ability to. I couldn't do it otherwise. I was just back from a swim workout. I was exhausted. But Allah gives you the force. Allah is the force. Allah is all powerful. We just get to be able to tune inside. Because Allah doesn't talk to us unless we are silent. Allah can talk to us when we're silent. That's why after prayer, you can sit in the mosque or anywhere you are. Like when I got off the hijacked airplane, I was at Dhaka, Bangladesh. I go off, I got to have a night's sleep, and I wanted to get movement in my body because I was on the hijacked airplane for 26 hours. And so I walked around in the rice paddies outside of Dhaka. And there was a little mosque in the middle of the rice field. I went into the mosque and I prayed. I thanked Allah for getting me off. I then thanked Allah for getting everybody else off safely. Ultimately, everybody else got off safely. Was my prayer strong? It was God's will. It was Allah's will. Has nothing to do with my prayer, but if I don't pray, Allah cannot hear that prayer. So when we pray, Allah can hear it. If I'm silent, He can speak with me, just like He did with Muhammad. Praise be His name. We can change the world. We are servants of Allah. We bring His peace. We are His agents of peace. We are His ambassadors of peace. Thank you so much. I appreciate being on this call, and good luck, and tell me how it works for you. Communicate with me how it works for you. Keep practicing more and more. Get a buddy to practice with. Have a friend. Say, check in with each day. Say, what happened to you? Because you'll find magic start to happen. You'll find more smiles. You'll find more things to help others, and other people will help others, and it's going to spread. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Thank you.
That's really wonderful, and really, it's just feel like that we are communicating with peace. We are spreading peace in ourselves, and I'm really impressed. And thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you. God bless. Bye.
And yes, yes, you were saying something. Yes,
No,
sir.
I'm all done. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So okay, as you know that I think you have a lot of achievements to know because you are doing a lot of things. So I request you that to tell us one of your achievements you like the most. So, can you tell us?
Serving others is the greatest achievement anybody can have. I'm what they call a
Mhm.
karma yogi in India. I serve others. If people wish to give me money so I can serve others better, if people want to donate for the Peace Lab, they can donate to the Peace Lab through me, because right now we are manifesting, we are bringing to life more and more peace on the planet. I have no extra income than my simple retirement, and things are getting expensive. But that's okay. Allah's always taking care of me, just in the nick of time sometimes. Thank you so much. I have only one more thing I could say, and that is to see God in each other, see Allah in each other, and know that Allah dwells within you as you. You manifest Allah's will, or you don't. It's your choice. He gives you free will.
Mhm.
Enjoy. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, and thank you so much for sharing achievements of your life. So, and you know that I have a really great time to have you in the live show. So, as you know that it is time to end the show, and I will request you that, and I will be really happy that if you tell us what is your last message that you want to give to our audience.
I've already just given it.
Okay,
And what I
so
will
you
do is,
have just already given it, and
yes, I will
yes.
send you a PDF on happiness. And if you have friends, you can
Mhm.
forward that happiness PDF on. Or it's better that I send you an email, because it's that way we don't waste any paper, and you can easily forward things on through email to all your friends, to people that in your network. And then we spread happiness, because when you're happier, you're healthier, you're more successful, and obviously you're less troublesome. So we're spreading peace in the world. So it's the peace system, it's the season of peace. Let's be peaceful, because every season is the season of peace. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you so much for your time. Bye. Have a great day. Bye, guys. Have a great day.